All right, hey everybody, Johnny Ruckus here. I got a guest. I got another guest. This handsome man here with the fantastic Yankees hat, Corey Schmidt, the pants. He wears the pants in all relationships. What's happening, man?
Not too much, brother. First off, happy birthday.
Oh, I thank you.
Not too much. Just living life in the new place I just got here. So.
Yeah, with the fancy friggin' lights.
Yeah, it's the like I said, the little LED lights that glow all the way around the room.
Ooh.
Makes me feel fancy just for a little bit. As long.
Makes you feel fancy.
The fancy pants.
That you are, sir.
Yes.
That you are, John.
Right, you are, John. He is quite the fancy pants. Oh my God. Oh yeah.
Well, we can start there. You have the.
Well, anyway, it's great to be on your show, man.
Appreciate it. We can.
This is pretty cool.
You got to do a John Madden thing right quick. You did Pat Summerall there, but you got to do John Madden there real quick.
Yeah, well, he wears the fancy pants, and if Brett Favre had a man cave, he'd have lights on.
You must.
Sorry, I'm in my throat. Yeah.
You got like super loud there. It was,
man.
John, you got to settle down, Mr.
Right
Madden.
now, I just made all the viewers. You just made all the viewers of the Johnny Ruckus show deaf, John.
Right, you are.
Oh my goodness.
Well, when I put this out, the new Three Left album, is it a full album? Is it an EP? What are we calling this thing?
We are doing, this is a full album. So we released a couple singles in, I believe it was October of 2021, right before the new year. And we just released another one called R.I.S.E, which is basically the self-titled of this album. So, and then we kind of fucked with everybody and did. We were gonna say that this was gonna come out on April 1st, but it's April Fool's, so we kind of with some issues with billing and some putting the music out on the streaming platforms and CD Baby, it kind of got pushed back a little bit. So the album is, I'd say, somewhere around like April 25th through like May 1st, somewhere around there.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be, but it's a full album and looking forward to having all you guys check it out and see what you think. Hopefully y'all like it. So this is your kick-ass, man. Freaking better be, brother. Okay, so this is the first recording that you've done with Three Left, right? Yes.
And this has been kind of go over the process. When did this? Because this has been a couple year process so far, hasn't it? You started recording some stuff before the world shut down, or right as the world was shutting down, or something like that. Well,
actually, we had a couple of these songs already like structured out before I was in the band. Some of the stuff Rich and Ron and Chad and John Miller, when they were in the band too, they wrote together some of these songs, and then later on, then we kind of just, once things progressed, as with certain band lineup changes and things like that, we've kind of came together to come up with some other riffs and structure it all out together. And it's been fun.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
How has the melding of your style writing with their style, how is that? Has there been a learning curve to that, or has it been pretty easy?
A little bit. I had to. They're more like with their point. It was like, or what am I trying to say here? With everything, it was all structured out, and like before when I joined the band, it was already written. So like I just kind of put some of my ideas together and just like, working with Rich, he does all the crazy fancy soloing too. He's a hell of a guitar player, and having Ron with their style, it kind of just, I took kind of the style of what I did with jamming with you guys in 215 and just ran with that style too. And it just, everything seemed to mesh together a little bit. Just, we were more patient, I'd say, with Three Left than we were because with 215, it was like, okay, we kind of joined and it's like, holy shit, we got like 3 months to get, we have a CD coming. We have a CD release show coming out in February. I got to really grind my fucking gears here, but
yeah.
With them, it was more of like, does this work here? If not, maybe I can, I could scratch out some licks and try something else here. And, it was more like, I could think a little bit more, I guess, about certain like riffs I was writing and certain things I could help out with, I guess.
Sure, absolutely.
But,
Yeah, we had a crazy timetable with
but it's always with the things I write, it's always 100 and I try to give it 110% effort no matter what, so.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
No matter what project is going on. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, okay, how many songs are on this new record?
There is 8.
8. Okay.
And we are in one cover. We are doing a cover of the Eagles' Hotel California. Mm-hmm. We've been playing it quite a while, actually. Before we thought that we were always like just original band, but then it was good to have maybe a cover or two under our belt, and we came up with that one. It's a hell of a song, so and everybody loves it. Everybody loves to hear it. So we made it. The idea was to make a kind of a classic rock kind of song and turn it into a down-tuned heavy metal high gain kind of thing. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. So
yeah, you guys definitely put your twist on it. I listened to it before because you gave me a couple songs, like when you did the show however long ago that was, a year and a half ago or whatever. So yeah, you've been sitting on some songs here for a while.
Oh yeah.
Out of the 8 songs that you recorded, or 9 songs you recorded for the album, whatever it was, were all those songs kind of more or less written when you had joined, or were there songs that you had more of a songwriting influence on, or how did that work out?
Well, there was a few that were already written, and then there were riffs and ideas that were brought to the table, and then all of us came together with after the departure of John. Then we got Jeremy Nelson, and he really helped us out with the drumming aspect of trying to structure out some of these riffs together. And with my inputs and Rich's together, it just kind of fell into place then really well then after that. So with things of it's Three Left is, it's a group, we all contribute together on these ideas, and whatever anybody has and brings down to the table, we record it on our DAWs computers, and just go from there. And it's a work in progress then after that, more or less.
Yeah. Yeah. I was interested in the songwriting approach. Everybody kind of works. Everybody has their own way of doing it, You're kind of familiar with my way, but we were in a different, it was different then because we had like no time, but where I like to write, like figure out everything and then bring it together. And so everybody kind of knows like, where
that's how I am.
Things are. Yeah. You like to do it that way too. Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Where some of these guys, it was, for you, everything was kind of structured out. And then like I would, piece everything together with certain riffs from there. And then, but with them now, it was a challenge, but a really good change. It was a good change too. Well, my computer just kind of went off there. But it was more my input trying to piece the songs together along with everybody else. Whereas with you, which is fine. Both ways are great, but for you, it was, we did a lot of stuff that was already written out basically.
Yeah.
And, which was cool. It wasn't much like work to be done on my end there, but I mean, it still turned out great. It's always going to be work no matter what. But I mean, for them, it's more just for me, I had to throw out more ideas on what we could do and how to approach some of these songs. Whereas for you, it was, and the rest of the guys with Eric and Josh at the time, it was all just pretty straightforward and right there. So
sure. Yeah.
And I'm still working at it.
Yeah.
But it's, that's kind of the difference. So,
yeah.
And it's cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you'll definitely progress too. And you guys will figure out better ways how to, work together and, all that kind of stuff. Cause it's, there's been a lot of moving parts in three left since you joined, you joined and then,
excuse me.
That's all right. You joined and then you started playing shows right away. And then, this member leaves and you got to train this guy. And so it's been a lot of moving parts in a pretty short period of time. So, and then using songs that you did have or they did have, and then you're trying to learn them. Yeah. It's a whole lot of moving parts in that. So it is, difficult.
Yeah. It was a process at the time, and like I said, I was before in a podcast with you, I wasn't really too happy with my certain tones I was having. It's like the different amps I was using and all that. It was like, I was at that point when I joined Three Left, I was really trying to find my sound with them, because with 215, it was more of the drop D kind of songs, which with these guys, it's more like, oh shit, now they're C sharp standard, drop B, even going down as low as A sharp, so it's like, I have to really figure out what I want to get my tone with here, with this kind of like heavy metalish, the more deep tone kind of vibe that they had here. So, I had to started making more money, and I was like, you know what, I got to get an amp, and I got to get a good, like I got to blend in a little bit better. So it was just little personal things that I wanted to really improve, and I'm getting there.
Well, there's
always a learning curve.
Yeah. When you start tuning down that low, the tonality completely changes. So you have to be cognizant of that. Otherwise, you're just going to be drowned out. So
absolutely. That was a challenge for me too. With changing that kind of tone to, like with drop D, it's more the clarity of all the presets and everything that are on the amp. It's, you can get away with much more, but with dropping down that low, it was a hell of it was challenging for me to try and get to blend in properly with those kind of tunings with Three Left. And, like I said, it's sounding, I think sounding somewhat decent right now, pretty good. But you know, there can always be room for more learning. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's one thing is that'll never stop. You know, we'll never stop learning.
No.
You know, did you? So, because the rest of the guys were kind of already used to that tonality, I'm sure they were a big help in finding you carve out a little space for yourself, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Rich for years has been through all different types of like all these great different amps, and Ronnie too, and with learning a lot from bass, and really you know, just the certain feel that they've had over the years with their music. They've always steered me in the right way to try and help me out with getting caught up to speed. But it just once I started jamming with them, everything flowed naturally. It's just that there was some little things missing together, and with building chemistry with those guys, it's like, okay, now I know what I need to get, and I know what I need to do and work on. And with everything meshed very well together as far as, you know, different tones and stuff like that. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. It's strange when you start tuning down lower. If you have a cheap guitar, your cheap guitar goes, nope, not going to do it. And then your cheap amp goes, nope, not going to do it. And it just like muds up. So
yeah, that's how it was with my Les Paul. It just was like, no, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So then I got this ESP. Here it is right here.
Hey,
here's my baby. Yes. Her name's Elvira. But with that guitar, I'm a big Les Paul guy.
Yeah.
I like the warmth and the tone of the Les Paul, and that brings me the similar feel. That guitar to that, it's just the wood is a little bit different, and with EMG pickups and active pickups in it really helped capture and blend the tone in together with with that guitar. So
yeah, I know I had an Epiphone Les Paul that I put EMGs in it, and I didn't like it. You know, I don't know. Sometimes it's like you've probably talked to a bunch of people that have had an 81, 85 or something like that in their Les Paul, and they're like, yeah, it sounds awesome. And they're like, okay. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I tried to get like more of the like Zakk Wylde kind of like Tube Screamer Horizon Drive kind of tone with it, but it just I don't know. It didn't seem to work with the mahogany body that it had. I mean, maybe with a more hard top, or
I don't know.
You know, something, maybe it could, but I mean, it with going down that low with that guitar, it wasn't having it.
And maybe
I just had to.
Yeah. And maybe
it wasn't full. It was just, it seemed more screechy and just like, this is more of maybe a hard rock guitar at the most, but this isn't like metal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what it was missing. But that's all it's all trial and error. So
yeah, sometimes just a guitar that you think will work won't do it, and then a guitar that you are like, yeah, that ain't gonna work, does the job the best. So
right.
Who knows? Yeah, who knows? Maybe it would be because you still have that guitar, right?
Oh, the Les Paul, yes.
Yeah, you still have it. So maybe you put the stock pickups back in it, or
that's the plan.
Yeah.
Yes, I just gotta.
Or
I don't know much about it, but I mean, I have to have a little bit of help with somebody trying to do that for me.
Yeah. Well, otherwise, if those EMGs have the quick lock, just the quick lock connector on the back, I don't know how old they are. You can put whatever active pickups in it. I'm pretty sure that you'd be able to put like a set of like Fishmans in it just plug and play if you wanted to.
That would be nice. Yeah.
I think I read that or heard that correctly. So
that would be cool.
Yeah. So you could just pull them out and plop them in.
I was just actually checking out a comparison between Fishmans and EMGs, and Fishmans sound really, really good, bro. Like
they do. And they're kind of the hot thing right now.
Yeah. They're hot, but they have that certain clarity in it that is more kind of MIDI. You know what I mean? Like it just has that little more like that lower mid punch it has in it than like some EMGs do. Like it's just a little bit more, it's kind of hard to describe, I guess. It's got a little bit more punch, I guess, right in the mid.
They do different shit. You know, they do different shit.
It's just a little bit more clear. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Fishmans too have that where you can select between the modern and the traditional wiring or something like that. Like their outputs are different. There's more, there's more options to it. I had a guitar I was thinking about putting in. I got rid of it, but I don't know. That's still like, you know, that's still on the, you know, why wouldn't you want to put those in?
Right.
So maybe at some point in life, you know, I'll have a guitar where I want to put those in, but I had active pickups for a while. Like I had a couple guitars with EMGs, and I kind of went that way for a while. And then, when 215 took a break, I started getting some more passive guitars, and that was kind of like where I went back. Cause you know, you play passive forever, you know, and then you try the active pickups, and then you either stay with those or you go back. And I went back to passive pickups. Just a little less to go wrong for me. You know, that's, you know,
sure.
And like EMGs, you know, people say that, you know, you can put them on a broomstick and they'll sound like a guitar. And there is a little bit of truth to that, but EMGs, they're more, well-rounded, I guess, than people give them credit for. But you know, they obviously do high gain shit real well.
Absolutely.
But when I switched back, I kind of I needed a little bit more headroom, you know, and stuff like that. Cause you know, the EMG will push the preamp. That's what they do, you know?
Yes.
So I wanted a little bit more headroom, and with passive pickups I get that. And then, you know, if you run a certain style of guitar for a while, then like, you know, then I started getting like PRSs and stuff like that. And it's like, oh yeah, these are really clear. So then it's like, man, I suck ass. Like you start playing better shit and you're like, oh my God, you can hear everything. It's not mud now. Oh no, I suck. So yeah, I had to get better just because gear got a little bit better, but
yeah, Rich has a PRS, and I look at it and it's just like, oh man, every time I hear him play it, it's like
they do something.
Oh man, I do want one.
They do a certain thing.
I love my ESPs though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I have two of them, and those are my calling. It's just, they're metal, good high gain, great for solos. They feel comfortable.
That's what it is.
Works for me.
Yeah. They feel comfortable, you know? Buddy of mine has it's the single cut, but it's the 1000. EC 1000. Does that sound right? I can't remember exactly. It's like yours.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But he has like,
those are single cut. Like it's similar to this. This is the single cut, the ECQM. So it's the same series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that one's got EMGs and stuff in it. That's a freaking great guitar. It's one of those he won't get rid of it, but if he ever were to get rid of it, I would be the first in line to buy it from him. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Cause it's just dope as shit. Like they
are really cool.
They're great guitars. They feel good. They don't have,
yes, they do.
You know, it's hard to say. Cause like, you know, like an Ibanez is really flat and really, you know, it's for a shredder, but like I I have big old fat hands, so like that shit doesn't work for me.
Right.
But like what you have, like the Eclipse style or whatever, they seem to work.
Yes.
They just, and they have like great like they look good. Yours has a quilted top. It looks fucking awesome. It's got the binding. It looks fucking great. And it obviously sounds great too. So
yes, it's that blend. It's that nice blend. Like, look what you said for Ibanez. That's those guitars. I've had one too. And it's just, that's all it's good for, like, is doing really shreddy type solos. And like, and it's just like when I play like certain punchy rhythms to it, it sounds like real thin.
okay.
And with ESPs, like with the wood and the design of it, with that single cut style, it really punches through and really cuts through for playing rhythm, like rhythm and leads together. So that's kind of the guitars I like to go and approach. Does it have good leads to play with? Like, does it sound good with high gain and with the treble and mids up? And does it, play very well with playing rhythm and a bunch of different like chugging riffs? And it's that happy medium that ESPs have that I absolutely love.
Yeah.
Like it's perfect.
Yeah, they do the thing for you. Where did the love of single cuts come from? Does there something that's like, do you go back in your like childhood and you see something on TV and you're like, I want to play that guitar? Like, do you know where that comes from for you?
Well, it came from it started with the Les Paul, I think. I mean, I was more or less playing the Les Paul and feeling how warm that sounded, and just that tone of how just like, just how warm and how crunchy it can be. I was really drawn to that, and it was like, this is the perfect sound. I've played other ones where it was I think it's the double cut, I think, and like some of the other body designs, and they sound great. Don't get me wrong. It's just that it's that warmth that was missing.
Sure.
And that's what I love about the single cut style guitars.
Yeah.
So that was it. It just naturally turned into my calling.
Was there a band or a guitar player that you saw play one and then it's like, I want to try that and like try to be like that dude? Or
well, originally Zakk Wylde at first, and then like but before that, I would have to say like Joe Perry from R.I.S.E.
Oh, okay.
And like hearing that was Slash from Guns N' Roses. I was always really big into seeing like what kind of style of, like, always tried to more or less study his progressions and learn. And I saw that he had that kind of shaped body guitar, and I was like, okay, I got to do a little bit more research on what that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then sooner or later, then, just from those influences, you can see other metal players in different genres and other guitar players nowadays. Some of them are using that even for 7-string guitars. Mm-hmm. They're having that sort of body style, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. It took me there were certain single cuts that I liked, but I was never a Les Paul guy. I had like, when I was younger, I had one. It was,
they're not for everybody.
No. I had one, it was like I was super into Bob Marley way back like 20 years ago. So like, I had like his style guitar, the Les Paul Special with the P90s in it. Sure. And that was super dope.
Nice.
And then, I just like, I had to get rid of it or whatever. But me kind of, I don't run a studio, but I have, where I like to, my cave where I like to write tunes. So I'm like, I kind of need a Les Paul. I need something like that because it, like the neck pickup does a thing, right? It just, you hear a Slash on solo and the neck pickup, and you're like, I want that thing. So then, you know,
Right.
I need that thing. So I didn't buy a Gibson or a Les Paul, but I bought a vintage, you know, the vintage brand single cut, and it does the thing. And now, and now when I'm doing shit, well, you know, when I have that, the single cut PRS, and, you know, same kind of, you know, it's a PRS, but a single cut. But if I'm sitting here jamming, I'll grab the vintage Les Paul, you know, the vintage brand Les Paul. People get confused when I say vintage and then I have to say brand, but I grab that a lot because it's like right here, and it's like, oh yeah, it does. So I don't like all Les Pauls. I really am like kind of picky for whatever reason.
Vintage brands sound pretty damn good too.
They are, and yes. they're you know, they're a good price. And I went through probably a half a dozen of them that day when I was like, I'm going to buy one. I don't know which one, but I'm going to buy one. I probably played half a dozen of them, and like one was like, oof, what the, you know, I just put it back, you know, and then next one's like, oh, that's better. And then I found this one. I said, this is the one. So I played them all when I went to find it. Cause like, yeah, for whatever reason, there was such a swing between how they felt, but this one is great. And I pick it up and I'm like, yeah, this feels like home, you know? So it just, it does the thing. It's heavy as fuck, you know?
It's a lovely feeling when you find that out, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, and it looks good, and it was cheap, and it sounds good. And it sounds different. You know, it does the neck thing. You know, you put it on the neck pickup, it does that thing. And then if I grab my PRS, it obviously, you know, they're different. It does a different thing. And it's like, okay. And it kind of fits right where you want it to fit, you know?
Sure. So absolutely.
Cool. Well, since we're talking about nerd shit and we're talking about gear, we'll still just keep talking about nerd shit, I suppose, because why not?
I love nerd shit.
When you joined Three Left, you had to get a new amp, and you want it anyways. It's not just like, oh, I joined a new band and I need a new amp. So what made you go with the 5153?
The high gain in that amp was, I thought it was perfect. There was a couple different options. There was the dual rec or the triple rec, and I really, really love those two. The triple rec was a little too loud. I was afraid to drown out Rich, and because he had a Bogner Uberschall at the time, and it's just like, if I get a triple rec, which I've always had my eyes on triple recs for years, and then I just did a little bit more research on high gain amps, and I was like, 5150, and talking to other people too, they kind of steered me into the direction of the 50 watt head. And I checked it out, you know, did some reviews on it, watched other guys play it, and then after a while I was like, yeah, I'll give this a shot, see if I like it. And then from there on, it just was like, okay, that's what I needed to be. That's where I needed to be. Well, and with the right cabinet, it just kind of felt like I found my calling with that amp. Like it just, like I felt like it was like, I felt the right feel, and everything just clicked with that amp. And when I was playing with just in the EMGs, in the ESPs that I have, it just felt perfect for a 5150. And I've always been a fan of Eddie Van Halen and his work too. So, and everything that he's invented. So, I was like, yeah, this is it. Mm-hmm. So I'm rolling with this. And they sounded great together with the Bogner and the EVH together.
Sure.
So it was like, all right, you know, with two outstanding guitar players, it was like, you know, two guys that want to play shredding kind of music, and, you know, different cool riffs that go with it. It worked very well together.
Yeah. And you kind of lucked out if they both, you know how that is, where like, I got a great amp, you got a great amp, and then they don't work. together.
Right.
Like,
yes. And I've had that happen.
yeah, it's like almost
Yeah.
heartbreaking because you're like, shit, I
Yeah.
found my thing. And then your other guy's like, I found my thing. And then,
Right.
yeah, well, and the 5150.
Been there, done that for
yeah,
sure.
right. No kidding. Haven't we all? And the 5150 thing is kind of like, it's right up your alley too, because you're a fan of like, that's kind of like the quintessential kind of metalcore amp, is it not?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm a big. That's probably my favorite genre to play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I listen to all types of music, but like as far as like for metal and modern metal, like that was it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yep, this
Yeah.
this is my baby right here.
Yeah. Yeah. And it works. It works, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But then we get into what made you move on from that into the Kemper.
I wanted to just get more with well, first off, it was all the gear and stuff loading in. I was sick and tired of hauling in and out gear, just breaking my back to try and load in trailers and all that. My God, it's been, yes, it was, you come to a point where enough is enough with that.
Yeah.
You know? So,
Yeah.
and then I never thought I was going to be able to get into it at all, but working with an interface and a digital audio workstation made me want to get the Kemper too. Seeing all the different types of profiles and really got me to experience and kind of like see what other tones of different amps are out there and it could, you know, like there's over like almost damn near like 20,000 different types of amplifiers that are just on a little digital piece of hardware. And it got me more into like experiencing what other different high gain amps were instead of like kind of little narrowing it down to the ones that I was looking for when I wanted the EVH.
Right.
So there's just all the different possibilities that you could come up and learn from it, and finding out that too, that, you know, just with learning about working with all this stuff on the computer and playing shows, how it worked to go direct into a PA and to not have, and having the cabinet and amp already built in so that you can have less gear on stage was fascinating. So I was like, I need to get this. Like, I've always looked and wondered what, you know, shows at like the rave and, you know, everywhere, like any kind of shows I've ever been to, how I was always fascinated by like, where's the guitar player's amps? Where's their noise coming from? And it's just like it's on the side of the stage, like with their, you know, their monitor system and the rack mount, everything is all on the side of the stage direct into the house. And I wanted to get more in depth with how that went, I guess.
Yeah. And
yeah, I got the money for it and I was like, you know what, I'm not going back. I'm pulling the trigger on this bad boy. So, and I absolutely love it. It's great. It's great to go direct in, to have a amp in a cab already built into a piece of hardware and have it just run through the house of whatever venue that I'm playing.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. I recommend every guitar player that's playing live to get some sort of digital amp that can go direct into front of house, in front of a board. So, and yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it takes the
I will never go back to an amplifier ever again.
Oh snap!
Now that I have this, yes, people have said that to me, And it's like, they were like, you know, you will never go back to a amp ever again. And I was just like, okay, well, I'll keep that in mind, but we'll see. And then I was just listening to a whole bunch of different profiles and playing through them. It's like, wow, I'm literally playing through a $4,000 amp right here that I just bought a piece of hardware for $2,000 for. And it's like, it sounds pretty damn close. Like, even when I came over to, because you helped me profile my EVH.
Yep.
And hearing the difference between going back and forth from the amp when we profiled it, the amp and the Kemper, it's hard. There's not much difference. And
no,
that's another thing. When I researched it, I fell in love with that too. So
yeah. it was strange, I guess, to say how close it came through.
Yes.
You know, with just very minor tweaks, it was pretty much indistinguishable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you get to some vintage stuff and you want to be a dick about it, you could probably hear something, but does that really matter?
Well, sure.
Does that really matter? It definitely doesn't matter to dude that's 3 rows back
I don't think so.
at your show. He doesn't give a fuck. You know, the chick that's drinking beer over by the bar, she doesn't give a fuck. You know,
no.
It's just these nerds like ourselves that are like, well, you know, but do we really care either? No. If it sounds good and it does what you want it to do, then fuck, man. You know?
Yeah. More power to you.
Yeah.
You know, there's always going to be that person that's, you know, is after a show that'll be like, oh, I'm a guitar player too. I want to just check out what your gear is. And it's just like, I will always be happy to talk to them about like what they like, you know, and they'll explain to me what they like. And, you know, hey, I can learn a little bit about what somebody else might like that, you know, and if they like it, that's great. Yeah. And like I said, it gives me something to learn from too, to see what other different types of guitar players like for their tone and stuff. So it's really cool to listen to other great musicians out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Capture what they have learned and what they like.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. With this Kemper thing, like I said, it was eye-opening and how it came out and how easy it actually was. Like, what did that, besides me erasing it and we having to do it again, how long did it really take? You know, 5 minutes?
Well, yeah, something like that. I had a lot of trouble with it at first. I was very intimidated.
Yeah.
With all the buttons and stuff like that. But then after seeing, like, when I came over and we profiled that, I was just like, it's that simple? Like,
yeah.
Well, like, okay, like, let's fucking go. Like, you know, so, but, it is very effective and it's very easy to learn once you get the real grasp of what it actually is and what it does. It's just a bunch of profiles to create performances. It's that like all the different buttons and stuff on that. It's basically, in a nutshell, is a bunch of profiles to create performances, and it's awesome. It's a great invention for guitar players all around the world.
Yeah, I agree. As after that, you know, you look at them and you listen to, you know, this guy do this one and then this guy use another one and yada, yada, yada. And they're really cool. You know, and then you said you were going to get one. And then, you know, I thought it was really cool to be able to help you get the profile and kind of learn how this thing works. But well, I greatly appreciated it because I wouldn't have been able to do that by myself. We tried. It was challenging at first. Like, we tried to, at practice one day, we tried to profile Rich's Wagner Uberschall, and it was challenging at first. There was some
there was certain like volume knobs where we couldn't get it to like basically profile where it was either too loud or not loud enough, and finding that happy medium when I was profiling it with you through your IR thing, whatever that is. You obviously would know better than I do, but
I got the Captor X. Yeah,
the Captor X. Yes, it's, profiling it through that. It was just kind of more. I wish I would have been able to do it again now that doing it after learning it and doing it with you, profiling mine. But it is a little bit sensitive that way. But I mean, once you get it, it's fucking awesome. Like to be able to like sync like what you can do. Sorry, there we go.
No worries.
The difference between the two of playing like with the Kemper and the amp together, it's like finding out which one. It's like, oh, I'm actually playing through the amp right now. Oh, but I thought you were playing through the Kemper, you know, or and vice versa. So,
yeah, it was really a.
But it was
cool thing.
challenging at first, but yeah, after a while, once you just like anything else, you mess around with it enough that it'll become second nature.
Yeah, there's a lot of buttons and stuff on it, and you're like, oh man, you know, it is intimidating, and then you realize, oh wait, just this set of buttons does this, and then this set of buttons does that. Oh, that's not that bad. You know?
Yeah.
So it does. You can be.
It's very straightforward.
Yeah. It really is pretty easy. So, if I were gigging, you know, I would be like, that might be a thing to do. That's why I started getting like mini heads, because
you would love it. Yeah,
probably fucking would.
You sir would fucking love it.
Yeah, it really was pretty cool, because like when we were like dialing,
I gotta come back up there and bring it up there again and hang out with you one of these days.
Nerd out on that fucking thing some more, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Well, as we're getting kind of close here to the end, let's do a real quick thing. Why don't you just give me a plug or whatever you got coming up, going up. You know, you got the album coming out. Why don't you plug that, and just whatever else you want to plug.
Well, yeah, it's coming out here, April 25th through, I'd say May. And, if you guys like metal and like fucking badass fucking riffs and pretty cool leads and thunderous drum fills and awesome stuff, take a listen and check it out. It's going to be fucking dope. So
are you getting
Three Left Risk Involved, Sacrificing Everything is what it's called.
Okay.
So
there it is.
Awesome.
Website. What's the best way to find Three Left on the interwebs?
Yes. Any streaming platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Three Left Music. It's all over. It's anywhere. Amazon, Spotify, Pandora.
What is your Instagram?
Just look it up.
What's your Instagram? Because you like to put stuff up every now and again too.
It is. I think it's called Three Left. Here, can I? Let me take a look. Real quick.
All right.
Oh, yeah. It's like Three Left or Three _ Left. Or something like that.
I'll put it in the description. Yeah. What is yours?
Because you somewhere around there.
Because you like to post stuff every now and again too.
Oh yeah, it's CJ Schmidt 22.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Buddy.
Are you going to have? Are you getting physical CDs as well, or are you just doing digital?
Yeah, we're getting like I'd say like 300 copies.
Okay.
Or so of CDs, but then it's going to be just all digital. It's
okay.
iTunes and Spotify. It's all going to be there for you. So.
And do you have like a CD release show set up yet, or anything like that?
Not yet.
Okay.
We might do something. We were talking about doing something different than a CD release show.
Okay.
We were thinking about doing, maybe getting together and doing like a listening party or something a little bit different.
Okay.
You know, so we'll see.
Cool. All right.
We'll see what we come up with and go from there.
Yeah. Excellent.
And we'll keep you guys all tuned and keep it going, baby.
And then let's see here. I got a couple more nerdy questions I want to ask, and then I'll get you out of here. What is a dream piece of gear for you? Whatever it is, pedal, guitar, amp, whatever it is.
I would love to play a Angelus Comparison, the NH Signature Series. It is $4,000. I might not be able to play it or get it in my lifetime, but it is a flamed white top. It is a beautiful piece of hardware.
All right.
That would be my calling for sure. Again. So I would love to, that would be my dream piece.
All right
there.
And then, last question. Is there a song? What's a song that you wish you were able to write? Like whatever song it was, be like, damn, I wish I wrote that fucking song. Do you have one? Or can you think of one?
Ooh, many. But if I could think of one, Bottom Feeder by Parkway Drive. I wish that was me. Like just the beginning of that song and how it just turns into, I love badass breakdowns, and how seeing that live, people just jumping up and going fucking crazy, and you know, everybody jumping up together and jumping up and down, and the pit just going fucking crazy and stuff like that. I just wish it was like, you fucking assholes. Like, I wish that was me who wrote that fucking song and that whole album. So
there you have it.
Definitely some Parkway Drive.
Awesome.
For sure.
All right. Well, that's, we'll do that.
We even have on our new CD, we have a song called PWD. So it's a little bit of Parkway Drive influence.
Excellent.
So yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Yes.
All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I've been Johnny Ruckus. This handsome gentleman here has been Corey Schmidt. Schmittles the Pants, if you will. Check out 3 Left, and I will be back with you in a couple weeks. Thanks everybody.
Awesome. Thanks, Johnny. Thanks everybody.